On April 29, 2008, a hearing took place in The Hague before the CTIVD, the committee established to oversee the activities of Dutch intelligence services. Standing before the panel was Hans Smedema. He was presenting detailed logs and allegations of a state-sponsored torture and psychological abuse campaign that he claimed had targeted him for decades. During the hearing, Smedema was shown a photo lineup. In 3 seconds, he identified the sitting Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice, Joris Demmink, as his abuser from 1972 and the mastermind of the cover-up. The committee's response was immediate. According to Smedema, they verbally acknowledged the existence of a highly organized conspiracy and promised to advise the Prime Minister to halt the operation. Smedema walked out of that room believing he had finally broken through. After years of being ignored, a high-level oversight body was preparing to hold the state accountable. But 6 weeks later, the momentum stopped. On June 20, 2008, the Ministry of the Interior issued a formal, written ruling that contradicted everything Smedema had heard in the courtroom. The verbal acknowledgments were gone. Instead, the document officially declared Smedema's complaint entirely unfounded, legally cementing the state's denial of his claims. This creates a central paradox. How does an official panel admit to a conspiracy out loud, only to issue a legally binding denial 42 days later? To understand the reversal, we have to look at the judge's reaction during the identifying moment in the hearing. When Smedema pointed to Demmink, the panel responded with stunned disbelief, exclaiming, "But he helps you exactly." This reaction resulted from a system where raw abuse reports are filtered and reclassified into state-sanctioned protection. Smedema alleges Demmink used his intelligence background to manipulate dossiers for decades, reframing perpetrators as legal guardians and granting them total immunity. The committee members were operating inside a fabricated reality engineered by the predator they were tasked with investigating. Once the committee realized the scope of the problem, they faced a constitutional crisis. Acknowledging the conspiracy meant exposing the top official in the Ministry of Justice. Smedema points to an alleged royal decree as the mechanism used to resolve this. This mandate was designed to protect the Dutch royal family from being implicated in catastrophic state scandals. The decree created a ceiling of accountability no oversight committee could pierce, ensuring the survival of sovereign authority over the rights of the individual. Consequently, the committee's advice to halt the cover-up was scrubbed. The paper trail was sanitized to protect the Prime Minister and the Crown. When a watchdog collides with the survival of the state, the truth is systematically sacrificed to maintain the integrity of the institution. The June 20th rejection letter executed this sacrifice through very specific terminology. It stated the investigation found geen aanwijzing, no evidence. It concluded by declaring the complaint ongegrond, or unfounded on all parts, turning a verbal admission into a legal void. That single word triggered a complete foreclosure of Smedema's legal remedies. Police were forbidden from filing charges, and lawyers refused representation based on the state's official finding. This created an extraterritorial fallout, causing international bodies to defer to the Dutch state, forcing Smedema into exile. The letter triggered a form of civil death, stripping Smedema of his remaining legal standing in his home country. The failure of the Oversight Committee reveals a structural weakness in the democratic system. Institutional oversight is only as strong as the records it reviews. When those records are controlled by the state itself, the watchdog is easily blinded. The committee established to investigate corruption was instead used to legitimize it, relying on falsified evidence to produce an official denial. When forced to choose between the facts and the stability of the Crown, a bureaucratic paper trail is the only tool needed to legally erase a person's reality.